So it's 10 questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. The first one is, if you could instantly speak any language, which one would it be?
Probably Spanish, just because I figure that's the most useful. I mentioned earlier that I'm reading The House of Bone and Rain
Mhm.
by Gabino Iglesias. There's a lot of Spanish in that book. It takes
Oh,
place in Puerto Rico. And I know just enough to be able to get the gist most of the time, but it would be nice to be able to just read it and be like, yes, I know exactly what they're saying right there.
totally agree with you. Those are fun. Number two, would you rather have a lifetime supply of your favorite food or your favorite beverage?
My favorite beverage.
Haha. And what would that be?
Well, I'm a big fan of nice beer, really good
Mhm.
beer. And some of the stuff I really like can be really expensive. So if I had a lifetime supply of that, that would be great.
That would work out.
Barrel aged stout collection in the basement would be fantastic.
Would be actually.
Yeah.
Have you ever used traffic as an excuse for being late?
For sure. I mean, it's hard in like I live in Rochester, Minnesota, not a huge town, not a ton of traffic. So sometimes it's hard, but also it almost is a better excuse because it's so rare. You can be like, yeah, I don't know what was going on at 52. It was like it was backed up. And then you get up there and there was nothing. And people be like, yeah, that happens, man. You know, it's like it's a rare enough thing that when it happens, it really ticks people off.
Yeah.
So they're like ready to be like, yeah, traffic, man. Isn't that awful?
It's awful. We need to do something about that. Yeah, no,
Right.
if you could jump into any book, which one would it be?
Jump into.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough
Oh,
because I all of my favorite books I would not want to jump into in any way.
you could be just like one of those like passing through characters. You don't have anything to happen to you. You could just be like the witness.
That's too scary. Like I mean, like I think of like one of my favorite books of all time. The first thing come to mind, Baby Teeth by Zoya Stage. I love that book. Don't want to be in that book in any way, shape, or form. Oh, okay, here we go. Dave the Cat writes a novel. I want to jump into this book so I would know how to do all this stuff and be able to make my life much, much, much easier.
Yep.
So that's what I would do. I'm also a bit of a comedy nerd, so I recently read a book about the Kids in the Hall, the Canadian sketch troupe HBO show.
Yay, Canadian.
Again, watched that way too young, affected my life way too much. I would love to be in that and just like watch. I would like to be there for the tapings of those shows or those old early shows at the Riv.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'd be in.
Try to understand how their brains work. It's awesome. I love that.
Exactly.
What's your favorite thing about Minnesota?
Oh, we're having a moment right now.
Right?
Yeah. we the whole state. I mean, I grew up in Iowa, but my family was always from Minnesota, so I always kind of felt half Minnesotan anyway.
Okay.
Like it's funny because like when I went to the University of Iowa, even like my coworkers, like I'm a Twins fan, was a Vikings fan, Timberwolves fan, Lynx fan. Like they joked that I was Minnesotan. And I grew up like my hometown is on the border. It's just right underneath in Iowa. And then we moved here about 12 years ago for good. It's a phenomenal state. I love the weather. Like August in Minnesota is the greatest place. If it was like this all year, everyone would live here.
Oh.
We just need the winters to weed people out.
So you can have your peace and quiet again.
It's great. You know, like I said, we've got, Governor Walz is like showing the world like why we've elected him and why he was my congressman before this.
He's amazing.
But, I was telling our girls like how we got to meet him at the state fair.
Love it.
Like 4 or 5 years ago, and that's who he is. He's amazing. He's a great dude. The state fair started yesterday.
Nice.
It's a great, it's the Minnesota State Fair. It's amazing. There's like you want to get ranch dressing on a stick, you can get it. They have Sweet Martha's cookies where you just get a bucket of cookies this big for like $10, and there you can get you can drink milk for $3. You just carry your cup around, come fill it up anytime.
Oh,
great! It's a great state, and it's really cool that it seems like the whole world is like, or at least the whole country is all of a sudden excited about Minnesota culture now.
Getting
Yeah.
to know it, absolutely. And you can see the pride right in your face. So I love it. I love it, love it, love it. What would you like to spend less time doing?
Besides all the boring stuff like cleaning and stuff like that, but that's where I think of things. I hate to say it, I want to spend less time drafting the book I'm working on right now.
Mhm.
I want to have that done so I can get to the fun part of like making it good.
Love it. Spoken like a true writer. Have you met one of your heroes? Have you ever met one of your heroes?
Sure. I've met a lot of my heroes in different realms. Like I said, I worked in Iowa sports in University of Iowa in the sports formation department. So I met a lot of got to know a lot of great people. Like you know, everyone was on the Caitlin Clark train, still is. But you know, Iowa coach Lisa Bluter, I introduced her to her first press conference. She is an amazing, amazing human being who I idolize to this day. And I got to work with her for 10 years. Current Iowa head coach who just, when Lisa retired, Jan Jensen, another absolutely amazing human being. So honored to be able to work with them and to see what that program has become over the last few years has just been awesome, you know. So I've gotten to meet a lot of athletes, coaches, that kind of thing that I've really idolized. Writing wise, over the last few years, it's been a trip. I've gone from reading these books and idolizing these people to like now, like we hang out at conventions and stuff. Like I think Sean Cosby is one of the greatest writers I've ever read. And, you know, he helped celebrate the launch of Just Stay Away with Us at BoucherCon last year. It's amazing, you know. I had Zoya Stage blurbed my blurb Just Stay Away, and I got to blurb Dear Hannah. Her sequel to Baby Teeth, which was just mind-blowing to me. That's one of those things, if I told me 10 years ago, just so you know, this is going to happen, I'd have never believed it. Never, ever, ever.
I love it.
But yeah, there's been plenty of times over the last couple of years where I've just been like, is this my life now? It's amazing.
That's the best. That's the best. Number 8 is, would you rather speak to your past self or your future self?
Ooh, I'd rather speak to my future self, I think, just from a pure curiosity standpoint. Because I think of, like I just said, I think of the things I could tell my past self that would just blow their minds. Like, what could future me tell me that would blow? So I'd rather do that, I think. You're taking a chance when you talk to your future self.
Yeah. Well, because you can change the timeline.
Oh, yeah. Well, but also talk to your future self and you just get the look of, hey, have fun at BoucherCon next week.
No.
Quit while you're there, man.
Enjoy it.
That would be horrible, but I never thought of that.
Yeah, so I don't know. You are taking a pretty big chance by doing that.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to order a new menu item if you're going to one of your like go-to favorite restaurants?
Probably an 8 or a 9.
Oh,
it depends. It depends on how often I can get to that place.
Yeah.
If it's a restaurant that I'm gonna eat once every 5 years, and I know something is absolutely amazing, and it's one of my, I'm gonna get that. If it's something I'm like, hey, you know, we can be back in a few months, or you know, whatever. Then I'll experiment more because like, you know what, that was good, wasn't great. Next time I'm going back to the bolognese, or you know, whatever.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. And the last question, which is always so, you know, analytical. Just kidding. It's just like a stupid question. But do you consider cereal a soup?
No. Cereal's its own thing. You gotta cook it. Well,
it's wheat in a liquid, so
no, it's its own thing.
Are you one of those guys that considers a hot dog not a sandwich?
Hot dog's its own thing too. That's what they call hot dog buns, not sandwich buns.
Yeah. Very true.
There you go. Thank you so much for answering those. We just love hearing the responses to all of these silly questions. So thank you so much.
Well, thanks.